One of the key elements of our political system is the distinction between a political party and the state. Now, that's a distinction in other countries that is routinely overridden. You'll often find in other countries the ruling party becomes the state. It takes over the police. It takes over the military. It uses the military to hand out election flyers. The military becomes an extension of its own ideology. Now, we've been able, by and large, to immunize ourselves against this in America. So I think the left here is crossing a new boundary. Now, why are they doing it? I think they're doing it because of this. They believe that if we, and by we here, I don't mean radicals, I don't mean terrorists, I'm talking about you and me, I'm talking about the kind of people that they don't hesitate to call extreme. Now, why do they call us extreme? Because they believe that if we had the same information they had, we would think like them. But the truth of it is, we do have the same information that they have. We know, we hear their news reports. We know what they have to say, and yet we don't agree. So they're really baffled. They think there's got to be we must be members of a cult. We must be radicalized in some way. We must be living in a cocoon, because if only we listened to Wolf Blitzer and Jake Tapper and MSNBC, we would basically be on board with their views. So the recalcitrance of Trump supporters in not going along with their nonsense, that convinces them that somehow some conspiracy, some cult, some dangerous extremism must be at work.
But we saw, Lieutenant Colonel, what happened with the Patriot Act after 9/11. You know, maybe the road to surveillance is paved with good intentions, or maybe it just gets completely out of control. Well, MSNBC's Frank Figliuzzi wants more domestic spying now.
There have been domestic terror bills proposed. They routinely get shot down, and always cited is the valid civil liberties and privacy concerns, right? But they jump immediately from passing a law with strict consequences to, we don't want people spying on Americans. This is going to result in spying on Americans. I say that's wrong. I say we can do this right.
Lieutenant Colonel, do you trust the government to start another domestic spying apparatus? So this is what when everyone voted for the nice guy Biden, okay, he was like the grandfatherly figure, caretaker government, he's going to fix COVID. This is what people voted for? Really?
Yeah, and you really hit the nail on the head earlier. This is a dangerous move in a direction that you're potentially going to, criminalize, if not demonize, members of the armed forces. And what's the criteria that this language in the NDAA is being suggested? Is it if you went to a Trump rally? Is it if you voted for Trump? I mean, you see where this could go. And where is the criteria you're going to be drawn? It's not going to be drawn on something that gives people the benefit of the doubt. And I just think that you're potentially demonizing vast percentages of the armed forces that we depend on for our security. And I think it's a bad move.
And Dinesh, I saw online somewhere the rejoinder was, you're an extremist if you've questioned the wisdom of, not the human worth of, but the wisdom of transgendered Americans in the military. That also will qualify as extremists potentially. Final thought.
Well, it really shows that you've got this package of policy proposals from transgenderism and down the line that the left is now trying to impose on the military. They're trying to get the military to conform to their way of thinking. And they want to browbeat and terrify military members who are not on board with all this, with the risk that they will be under surveillance, they will be called in for interviews, they might even be rooted out of the military. So this is a case where the left is conducting its own internal purge of the military. And I think you're right. This is a very dangerous road to go under, and this is not the way to treat any kind of political opposition in a democratic society.